Today is going to be all about SoFi. So if you are a SoFi bro or a SoFi sister, aka you are a SoFi shareholder, this video is going to be up your alley in a good way. Even though right now SoFi is very much in the red, and all of my stocks that I own are very much in the red too, let alone the market is having some trouble digesting what is going on in the Middle East. That's pretty much what everyone is talking about right now. Firstly and foremost, happy Thursday, everyone. If you're new to this YouTube channel, welcome. Like I said, today's episode is going to be all about SoFi. I'm going to be talking about some stuff that is currently going on. Going to be talking about some stuff that I'm personally looking for in next week for SoFi earnings. Actually, I lied. It is going to be in less than 2 weeks, 13 days away from SoFi's earnings, going at early morning Eastern Standard Time. 08 is the conference call. Their earnings are coming out at 07 a.m. Wednesday the 29th. We also have the Federal Reserve meeting later in that day as well, too. Very big thing to keep looking for, especially with more data coming out next week revolving around inflation. I believe next week we have PCE coming out. Yesterday we had PPI, and the day prior we had PCI. Oh man, I apologize. My head is spinning all over the place with all these different report names. I'm a real person. I keep things real here. I don't really edit a lot because I believe that when it comes to talking about things that you're very passionate about, let alone stocks is what I'm very passionate about, you should really speak from your heart, and it shouldn't really be all around super duper editing. So if you want to follow me along, click the subscribe button. Don't be lazy. And if you enjoyed today's video, smash the like button as well. Like I said, help me grow this YouTube channel organically. I have other YouTube channels, very massive, but my other viewers are very not into the stock market, gaming, video gaming channels. And the stock market this year is just very unpopular. Let alone SoFi right now is very unpopular too. That should be a very big smile on your face, especially if you are a long-term shareholder. Because when you have a management team like SoFi's management team that is just executing, but their stock price is unpopular, well, it makes me feel good being a longtime shareholder. So, another thing before I go ahead and kick off today's video, I've been buying SoFi since February of 2024, and if SoFi breaks down after earnings, I'm going to be buying more. Now, today is not an official earnings like preview. I'm probably going to be doing one of those videos next week because I really want to see if the odds are even greater for no rate hikes at this upcoming meeting, and also later in the year as well too, which is ultimately going to really impact SoFi's forward-looking guidance, or their guidance could very well remain the same. I might be releasing that video maybe Thursday or Friday of next week, so stay tuned for that. Although I do want to talk a little bit about SoFi's upcoming earnings regarding their member growth as well too. But firstly and foremost, let's go ahead and pull up some stuff that is very much causing a lot of super duper fears right now in the market, and is really sending volatile stocks such as growth companies. Remember, if you are new to the stock market and you are in stocks like SoFi, AMD, Robinhood, Palantir, even Meta. Yes, Meta is still a growth company. I mean, even though it's part of the Mag 7, their CAGR, compound annual growth rate, it's massive. We're at 30 plus-ish, and supposedly all their CapEx spending that they're doing could even drive it higher. So Meta is definitely a growth company. ServiceNow, Coinbase, Ethereum. I haven't actually bought crypto since 2021, and I actually just bought some crypto several weeks ago. If you want to see my public profile dedicated for this YouTube channel, check out yesterday's video. I actually sold one of my stocks for a tiny loss, but it's actually a pretty remarkable story of what ended up happening. So check out yesterday's video if you want to see my public profile. Otherwise, tomorrow probably going to be going over my public profile dedicated for this YouTube channel that I made to really post on YouTube what I'm personally doing. I'm not a financial advisor, so always do your due diligence. But yes, if you are new to the stock market, you don't have to be a financial advisor to really tell someone, hey, if there's a lot of fears in the market, a lot of fears because there's a lot of negative things happening in the Middle East. We thought there was going to be peace, and then it turns out that it's a no-go, and we just have stuff going back and forth. And oil, at one time, earlier this week, or not earlier this week, it was, I believe, last week, it was actually below $70. I believe it was like 68 bucks. Now we are very much hovering right below 80. I believe earlier in this morning, it was actually over 80 bucks a barrel, which is, it's not good, but it's also not terrible. The Federal Reserve has stated that as long as oil is below $85 a barrel, it's not really going to impact their radar so much. Now, obviously, if oil is above 85 bucks, above 90, above 100, we're going to see a lot of these inflation reports go bananas. And it looks like the Middle East is breaking down again. Who really knows what is going on? I personally don't know. Like, I can only go off the headlines, okay? I do have a military background, but even my military background, like, I don't have, like, access to any, so by me really commenting like a lot of other people do, especially on YouTube and social media platforms, like, it's completely irrelevant, okay? I personally don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I don't know if Donald Trump is talking, you know, on hopefully on the telephone to the Iranian side saying, hey, look, like, let's go ahead and end this in a snap of a fingers. But from what we have seen, stuff can end in a snap of a fingers. So stuff can go from really bad to really good in a moment's notice. And that is what has made me, all throughout this year, just buying stock like crazy. In the last 8-9 months, I've bought well beyond $80,000 of hard stock, cash money, no margin, hard cash, straight up $80,000 plus of stock. And I haven't really been trading out of positions. I've just been building positions because I can see what's going to end up happening. And what's going to end up happening is that the remainder of this year could very well be very shaky. But next year, I got to make a video talking about this. The year before a presidential election, so presidential election is going to be 2028 here in the US. The year before a presidential election is historically extremely friggin' bullish. Like, I'm talking extremely bullish. So stay tuned for that video. I might actually be putting that together tomorrow. But yeah, as for right now, what is causing growth stocks to just very much, like, go bananas here? It's just noise in the Middle East. Obviously, I'm looking at SoFi in a 1-minute time frame here, and we're just basically slowly trending down. We're on the day today, we're definitely below a lot of the moving averages. Definitely below exponential moving averages is what I have up on the screen here. And I mean, it's just a sloppy, red, bloody day. But if you've been following me for a while, you know my philosophy. When there is blood in the market, aka red, you have to condition yourself to get excited. I've been in the market for over 6 years now, and I've conditioned my brain. Blood, red, means buy. You buy the fear, you buy the dip. If you're a long-term shareholder, you pick up discounted shares for the future. And if you're a trader, it's a simple terminology. You buy the dip, you sell the rip. Okay? That's all it comes down to. When the market is soaring to new highs and everything is green in your profile, that's when you go on the golf course. If you're not a golfer, well, whatever you do, you go and do, okay? You should not get excited when the market is green. You should be excited when the market is selling off like crazy. And back in February and March of this year, I was buying publicly tens of thousands of dollars worth of stock. And I mean, hey, look at my public profile dedicated for this YouTube channel. It's up massively, massively up right now. So there is it may seem like chaos, especially if you are new to the market, but it just is all tied in. And it really is a game of cat and mouse, and it's a game of chicken. And there's a lot of evil forces that are at play here that try to really shake you out of your shares. So, oil in the Middle East is definitely hurting this market for the short term, okay? Short term hurting the market. Now, going back to SoFi. So, SoFi's official page, I actually believe that SoFi, don't quote me on this, but I am almost positive that SoFi is in a blackout period. And typically a blackout period is before their earnings. They don't really post a lot. They don't do a lot of interviews, such as you're not going to see Anthony Noto. You're not going to see the CFO. You're not going to see other executive board members doing interviews because they're in a blackout period. We are 13 days away, people, from having the SoFi earnings. So it's going to be another great earnings. Is it going to be a triple beat? Because last earnings was not a triple beat. Their guidance remained the same. But their guidance was already super bullish for 2026. So their guidance could very well remain the same. But remember that their guidance is still super bullish. And for the long story short, do I believe that SoFi is going to beat on EPS, beat on revenue? Absolutely. But here is what I care about as a SoFi shareholder, okay? And this is something that I really look at more than anything when it comes to taking a long position in SoFi. Because I'm looking at SoFi not for the next 2 to 3 years. I'm looking at AMD for the next 2 to 3 years. I'm looking at SoFi for the next decade. Why am I looking at SoFi for the next decade? Right here. It's their member growth, okay? I am 38 years old. I actually just turned 38 years old a couple weeks ago. I'm 38 years old. I'm a millennial. Straight out of high school back in 2007, I joined the United States Marine Corps, and I've been living a very SoFi-type bank really since. Ended up getting done with the Marine Corps back in November 2022. Did 15 years and some change. Ended up medically retiring. Gym injury didn't really go so well. But all in all, I did my time in and very much am moved on to a different area of life. But during those 15 years, I have had military banks. And the reason I've had military banks, primarily Navy Federal Credit Union, USA, is because of the perks that they give to military members. And ever since 2007, I myself have been living a very digital bank atmosphere. What that means is that I don't really go to my bank. I have maybe only been inside a bank less than a dozen times in the course of like the last 2 decades of my life. I know that may seem like crazy, right? Especially if you are definitely older than me and you're watching this video. What I'm saying is that all these banks are going to be moving eventually into a SoFi atmosphere environment, okay? There is no nice way for me to really say this. The boomer generation is leaving our dimension. The baby boomers are following. Gen X is really 50-50. Some of Gen X, they like technology. Some of Gen X does not. Millennials, like me, we love technology. Gen Z, forget about it. Gen Alpha, forget about it. They need technology. What is after Gen Alpha? I believe it's like Gen Bravo. Don't quote me on that too. The whole point that I'm trying to make is that people no longer really are going to go into banks or give a hoot about going into a bank. Since 2007, I've been living a very digital banking atmosphere. Back in 2008, when I bought my first car, back in 2008, there was no Venmo, there was no Zelle, there was no, direct internal, deposit transfer. I had to pay cash, so I had to legitimately go to an ATM machine for 3 days in a row because I could only pull out $600 per day, and I had to take out $1,500 of cash. It was a little bit of a nightmare, no pun intended. But the point that I'm saying is that all these banks are moving in to the digital atmosphere where you don't have to come inside a bank. That is why I am so friggin' bullish on SoFi. What they're going to do for their earnings and their revenue right now, for me as a super, super long-time shareholder, I really don't care. Okay, what I care about is this on the screen. Member growth. Are their members growing? And the answer is yes. Now, these big banks like Citibank, bank like Bank of America, who's a competitor, JPM, who's a competitor to SoFi, they have like 50, 60, 70, 80 million members in their bank, right? How do you value SoFi? You value SoFi based off their members, just like any other bank, right? The more members they have, the bigger their company is going to be. It's kind of like Facebook in a way, right? Obviously, Meta has turned into a conglomerate group of applications. It's no longer just called Facebook. It's called Meta. You got Instagram, you got WhatsApp. Okay, keep the numbers simple, right? Let's say Facebook is at 4 billion people on Facebook, right? And Facebook is not getting any new members. Okay, it has 4 billion, people on Facebook. However, Instagram is receiving a ton of new members. That's really, really good, right? Obviously, the meta universe is growing, right? Well, we're in this phase where it is like Facebook well over a decade ago. Well over a decade ago. Oh man, I can't even talk right now. Word salad. Facebook, their members were just going up and up and up and up. And I guarantee you, someone many, many years ago, I wasn't in the market back then. I wish I was. I guarantee you that someone like me, back in 2015, 16, 17, and 18, was shouting left and right, hey, we have we have the Gen Z that's going to be coming on social media. The Gen Z is going to be all making Facebook accounts. Therefore, Meta is going to be exploding with new users. So I am very bullish on SoFi because their member growth is going to be going up and they're going to be attracting so many younger people. And I really do feel that they're marketing towards those younger people. I don't believe SoFi is really going after very older people that are plugged in to no technology, no digital banking, and obviously SoFi is a cryptocurrency bull. So therefore, a lot of a lot of younger people, even younger people than me, we're very bullish on cryptocurrency. So it's one of those things where SoFi is such a unique company, and it is all just coming down to their member growth, in my opinion. Now, could I totally be dead wrong? Of course I could. I'm not God. I'm not perfect. Neither are you. Neither is anyone but God. It is what it is. I've been wrong on this YouTube channel before, and I'm gonna be wrong again in the future. But I will say that I'm definitely more right than wrong. And that is really what it comes down to when you are investing and also trading companies. SoFi, not trading, very much investing, very big for the future for all the reasons like I pretty much stated in today's video. So I think I've really rambled on enough here. But yeah, I mean, if you are a SoFi shareholder, understand that the future growth for this company, cut out the short-term bullshit for the Middle East, cut out the short-term noise when it comes to, oh, they didn't raise their guidance. Oh, they didn't raise their guidance. Who gives a shit? Okay? Look at what is in front of you. Their member growth is very much going up. Very much. Okay? Who knows what their member growth is going to be? Literally in like 10 years. What if something crazy happens in the next 10 years where their member growth in 1 year doesn't go up by 30%, it goes up by maybe 100%. Is that possible? Yeah. Do you know what that is? Do you know how that would be possible? It's very simple. Anthony Noto and his management team, they're going to be battling a future recession. You cannot avoid future recessions. You can only prepare for it. How can Anthony Noto and his management team prepare for future recessions that are going to happen? I'm not saying a great financial crisis 2.0, but what I'm saying is that, hey, there's going to be recessions, right? Don't over leverage the company. As long as he and his management team does not over leverage the company, they're going to come out with flying numbers. Are other banks going to be annihilated in a recession? Of course there will be. What if theoretically a bank with, let's say, maybe 30 million people goes ahead and goes belly up, gets annihilated? How many of those 30 million people are going to be soaked up by SoFi? That's a good question. This is stuff you got to think about when it comes to really taking a long position in a unique company like SoFi. Because SoFi is not just a disruptor company in the banking industry. They are also setting themselves up to capitalize when other banks go belly up. And it's going to happen. What if theoretically we enter, let's say, maybe not a inflation recession, because 2022 we were in a recession for 2 quarters. Textbook definition of a recession is 2 negative quarters of GDP growth back to back. 2022 we had 2 quarters back to back negative GDP growth. The mainstream media did not want to report on it. Go figure, but we were in a textbook definition. Now, obviously, we came out of it with positive GDP growth, but still, we were in a recession for 6 months. Now, what if theoretically we go into, let's say, a labor-driven recession, right? Let's say a lot of people start getting laid off because of AI. And let's say SoFi, for whatever reason, they put out a lot of great marketing, and they also are able to soak up people because they're like, hey, guess what? We're offering very high interest on checkings accounts, savings accounts primarily. We will be there, especially if, you need to refi some debt, etc., etc. And they just basically soak up people. So the whole thing about it is that you have to think about all these unique situations. And yes, there is going to be another recession, and I believe that SoFi and SoFi's management team will guide us out of that recession. During that recession, the stock price is going to be down in the gutter, okay? It's not going to be a shell shocker for anyone out there. The stock price is going down to Chinatown. And guess what I'm going to be doing? I'm going to be buying more shares. Okay, I mean, that's what I'm personally going to be doing. But on a closing note, once again, oh man, I talked way too much. If you are a SoFi shareholder, do your due diligence. If you have taken a long position in SoFi, it's very scary and it's very choppy. I mean, if you want to look on the charts right now, it looks very chaotic. Okay, if we go on the SoFi daily chart, I mean, we're really hovering over the 100-day moving average. But at the same time, we typically get a nice rally before earnings. And then historically, we always kind of sell off after earnings. So maybe we push up into 20 bucks and then we go back down to 18. What is that going to do for people's mental state? it's going to piss people off. What is it going to do for me? Well, if the company comes out with phenomenal earnings once again, and we go up and then we go down, I got to pick up some more shares. That's me personally, okay? So, very much excited. Sorry that I rambled on in today's video, but I got to start doing live streams on this YouTube channel. Then my rambles would very much be warranted. Stay positive, everyone. Stay motivated. Don't let evil forces shake you out of good investments. And later.